I'm Mike Barrell. We're in Orlando at TM Forum Management World. I'm with J.Matthews, who's the Head of Strategy and Business Development for NSN. Michael, thanks for spending some time with us. So you've been on both sides of a fence here with your role in Amdocs, in the OSSP, SSP, so now in the network space with NSN. What's your view coming from both sides there?
Michael, I've been on both sides of what's probably a multi-sided part of this industry, but I've retained a personal interest and a personal passion, which I think has been pervasive through both positions, and it relates to the customer experience and how that gets delivered. And we are all in an industry that generates something like 1.3 trillion euros of revenue, because there are people who need to communicate. Those are the end users of the communication services that are provided in the value chain that's delivered by companies like Amdocs and Nokia Siemens networks and many of the people who are here today. And so ultimately, if the experience for those customers isn't something that's compelling, bringing change to or new value to their life, then this industry is going to grow, and that impacts everybody on all sides of this industry. So I see that theme running through all of the roles that I've had, and it's definitely something that's foremost in how I think about my role at Nokia Siemens Networks.
Something that I've noticed in the interviews this morning is the diversity of people that I've had in front of me. We've had people from credit card companies, we've had people from policing backgrounds. The industry isn't any longer just telecoms, and the TM Forum isn't telecoms. Your role today, how's this impacted what you do?
I think that the industry it's part of society. If this industry wasn't there, there'd be no society at the moment. When you think about how we rely on communications and how pervasive it is to all parts of life, I think that we're at this juncture where we're starting to realize that it's not just about individuals communicating, talking into devices. It has clearly rapidly evolved with the emergence of the smartphone and the pressure that puts on the mobile broadband network, which will continue to be something that drives companies like Nokia Siemens Networks. But I think it's also an opportunity for all industries to transform themselves. And I was thinking last night at I'd like to say it was at dinner, but it was at the cocktail party, where I didn't have much dinner, that there are so many examples of industries that can be transformed from the way they've traditionally been thought of. And a very simple example that came to mind is the parking meter, the humble parking meter that I haven't researched it, but I'm sure it was designed 80 or 100 years ago, and it's this piece of steel. Its design hasn't changed dramatically, and it was created for a certain time in life. But today, every one of those things with four wheels that's beside a parking meter has a GPS device, or soon will have, and has forms of communications in it. And so the industry or the public service that was based on a fixed piece of steel in the ground and someone walking along the street with a piece of paper and a pen looking at a little red dot that's moved a couple of inches can and should change dramatically, and will change the value of society quite dramatically, given that parking meters serve a purpose. But that needs many parts of our industry to come together. The communication service providers can play a tremendous role, could even potentially play a lead role in making that happen. And then the rest of the value chain will be responsible for helping deliver it.
Very, very interesting, easy to understand example. What's the largest challenge you're having to deal with at the moment?
The most significant challenge for Nokia Siemens Networks is the challenge faced by our customers, the demand for increased bandwidth. Many of our customers have experienced 5,000% increases in demand for data communications, and the projections that we and some of our colleagues in the industry have is that sometime in the next 3 or 4 years there will be 5 billion smartphones on the planet. And 5 billion smartphones will chew up an enormous amount of mobile broadband spectrum. And so we need to concentrate on being the best company at creating and innovating those networks, delivering those networks on behalf of our customers, helping them install and optimize and run those networks so that they can deliver that broadband capacity.
Thanks very much for the time, Michael. Very interesting perspective.
Mike. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Pleasure.